with his wife and business partner Frankie. What's doing with her? I wondered idly as we shook hands. And why does she look so troubled? Who was also the mother of their 2 young children. She had also agreed to be interviewed. In the course of our chat, as the cameras rolled for a video release that Dr. Mobbs was making, Michael noted that in the course of his career, he was knocked out a staggering more than 30 times, observing that he was part of a culture whereby, if I wasn't completely knocked out, I played on. He was a nice bloke, if slightly withdrawn, as he discussed difficult subjects. Like all of us in our early years, he had felt bulletproof and unstoppable on the rugby field. He had heard of problems with repeated concussions, but was sure it wouldn't happen to him. And yet, not long after he stopped playing, both he and Frankie noticed changes in him. He became more forgetful and moody, and he could get very agitated very quickly over trifling matters. Yes, he would quickly apologize, but both she and he sensed that this change in him was not within the parameters of normality, and it was hard for her. "Sometimes you're just walking on eggshells," she told me with haunted eyes, as everyone in the room leaned in to listen. Consulting medicos, they found their way to Dr. Mobbs at Macquarie University, and Michael agreed to be tested. Frankie joined a circle of wives and family members of similarly afflicted sports people to give each other support and discuss how to cope. "There were lots of tears," she said, "and once we talked about the effects of concussion and probable CTE, it was like a light went on. We had all these answers for everything we had been experiencing." And now to the shocking part. Frankie told me that Michael had scored 77 out of 100 in his cognitive tests, which is equivalent to mild dementia. As you might imagine, I was reeling when I came away from the interview, and I took Dr. Mobbs aside in the foyer. "Doctor, he's 40 years old and getting scores equal to mild dementia from concussions in rugby?" She didn't blink. "We see many people just like Michael across all sports," she said. "This is what we're dealing with." And then I contacted Michael and Frankie. "Great to meet you both," I said, "and good on you for having the courage to get help and being brave enough to speak. But can I write an article about you for the Sydney Morning Herald?" I made it clear that putting the words mild dementia together with 40 years old and playing professional rugby was going to bring a level of scrutiny for which they had to be prepared. They discussed it, and Frankie came back to me. "We're okay with it. That is our situation." With their blessing, I put this story in the Sydney Morning Herald, and the narrative began to change. A 40-year-old footballer has mild dementia from rugby? What is going on? What is going on is people are now realizing that the damage caused by repeated concussions is real and too frequently devastating. And the more people who know about it, the more the narrative can change for the better. Hence, this book. My columns have been one thing, but a book that reveals in compelling and horrifying detail the Lipman's whole experience? It will not only help thousands of other retired sports people and their families who are dealing with precisely the same issues, but also give fair warning to current and future sports people and their families. Get this right, or these are the consequences you face. You don't need to shut down contact sports. You do need protocols to look after those who do get concussed, and a culture that embraces those protocols to ensure what happened to Michael will happen to few, if any, of those who follow his path. If sports administrators get it completely right, the consequences of repeated head trauma won't happen to any of their players. Bravo to Michael and Frankie Lipman for their courage and conviction in recording all of their experiences, the good, the bad, and the very, very ugly. I am not sure that we can say it has a happy ending, but at least it has a hopeful one. Read on. I cannot commend this book highly enough. Peter Fitzsimons, AM.
Chapter 1. Frankie. First Impressions. 2016. Meeting Michael Lipman is not something people forget easily. It's an experience, to say the least. He is the most gregarious...